Math 1500. This is the first of probably 4 R assignments that you're going to be required to submit. Well, I can't force you to submit them, but you'll get a 0 on. These are going to be 100-point assignments, just like the assignments on your online course management system. I'm going to assume by now that you already have R installed on your machine or your home computer. We've talked about it previously. I uploaded a video to show you how to install R, so you should already have that installed on your machine, on your computer. And I can't imagine thinking I could take an online course without a computer anyway. So, guys, in case that doesn't work, it doesn't mean I'm sorry. In case that you didn't get it R installed on your computer, it doesn't mean you're exempt from this assignment. If you don't turn it in for whatever reason, you're going to get a 0. And we don't want that. This is going to be one of those easy 100 points if you can just follow instructions. But anyway, if you don't have R on your computer, you can go to the Student Success Center here at Shawnee State. R is installed on most of those machines. You may, if it's not on the first one, don't generalize and assume it's not on all of them. If it's not on the first one, go to another one and keep looking. It's on the machines, at least some of them. It's also in the math lab. I think all the machines now have R installed on them in the math lab, and it's actually other places in the computer room. Massey 210. We have Open Lab there sometimes. They're installed up there. So anyway, I'm working on the assumption that you either have R installed on your machine or you are clever enough to go to the Student Success Center, the math lab, or the computer room to use R. Because guys, I'm not going to ask you to do anything creative. I'm not going to ask you to do anything independent, unique, nothing. Create something on your own. None of that. I'm just going to ask you to follow just things that I demonstrate to you in this video. Okay. And again, this is one of 4 that you're going to turn in. Now, guys, to get this ball rolling, what you should do is you should go to Blackboard, go to our Blackboard site, and go over to Content. And under week 5, which is September the 21st, you're going to see that I haven't yet put up the videos for this week, but they're coming, okay? But what you will see is the R assignment that is due Tuesday, September 29th at 11:45 p.m. Now I'm going to show you how to submit the answers here, okay? Now I'm going to open that, and then I want to open up the document. And guys, what I'm going to do here, let me get this down where you can see that thing from Mars. What I'm going to do here is I am going to go through this first problem, and if you notice, the assignment that you're going to turn in is just really the same questions with a different data set. So if you can follow along this illustration, it's going to be really, really easy to submit your assignment, okay? Now, the first thing I say here is I said access your Blackboard account. Under Content, you'll find a new folder, R Files. Let's go get that. So under Content, you see a new folder, R Files. It's at the top. And I think I tell you here that for this illustration, we'll use hospital data set. So I'm going to open up hospital data set just by clicking it. And I'm going to open it up. Now, the very first thing that I need to do is I need to get this. I have to have this all centered just because I'm weird. Now, first thing I have to do is I have to get this saved on my desktop. So, guys, I'm going to go up and do a Save As. And I've got 2 things I need to accomplish here. First of all, I want to give this a name of something simple, because I've got to open this in R and I don't want a lot of spaces. I don't want a complicated name. I want something simple. So I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to call this Stay. I need to download it on my desktop, and I need this format to be comma separated values. Now, guys, there's a couple of .csv formats down here. One is Windows, comma, separated. You don't want that one. Another is MS-DOS, comma, separated. You don't want that one. You want the one that says comma, separated values. If you can't find it, you're not looking hard enough. It's there. So click that. Now again, simple name, save it to your desktop, and it's got to be in .csv format. So I'm going to save it. R is going to make you feel like you're trying to do something crazy. Don't let it. Hit continue. Now let's close this thing down because we don't need it anymore. No need to save it. We already saved it. All right, now I want to get rid of all this. And what I want to do now is I need to get this thing open in R. Well, I've already got R open right here, so I'm going to demonstrate now. Now, guys, I tell you, this is the hardest part, getting your data set open in R. The first thing you've got to do is you have to set your working directory to where it will automatically go to the desktop to get your file. The default in R is not the desktop, but it needs to be. The easiest way to do that is to get your working directory, left parentheses, right parentheses, depending on whether you got Mac or Windows. You may have to type both of those, it just depends. And it's going to tell you where it is currently going to get your files. Well, I want to change that. And to change it, I go set working directory. Now, what I want to do is what I see right here, I want to type that exactly. So quote, backspace, users, ddarbro. But then I want to come in with desktop. So my so R will go to the desktop and look for my files. Now, guys, when I hit enter, if nothing happens, that's good. It's not going to, a lot of times on these online course management systems like MyMathLab and Hawks, if you get something correct, it'll come up with this warm, fuzzy response, good job, way to go, great, all that. It doesn't do that in R. If you do something wrong, it's going to give you these big red warning. But if you do something right, it's not going to give you any warm fuzzies. So we did this right. Now, the next thing I've got to do is I've got to go get my data set. Now, I got to think about it. What did I call it? I called it stay, all lowercase. So I'm going to go data because that's what I'm going to name my data set because I'm not that clever to name anything else. And I'm going to use what's called read.csv. Now, I named my data set on my desktop stay, and I have to put the extension .csv because it's saved as a .csv format. Now, this read.csv and this .csv obviously, obviously they go together. It's built that way. Now, it doesn't work. Why not? Oh, duh. Guys, sorry about that. I have to put an arrow. I got sloppy up here and just put a less than. So I've got to put the less than and the arrow. Okay, so now it's going to work. Okay, now once we get this data set loaded, we have to attach it before we can actually crunch the data, perform the descriptive statistics, which is the goal here. So before we can analyze our data, we have to attach our data, okay? Now, I'm going to run through, let me bring up the assignment. And what I want to do is I want to go split screen here. I'll tell you what, let's take R and collapse it just a little bit more. All right. So what I want to do here is I want to go through and, I say here, once our data set is open, we're ready to analyze the data. So how many variables are in this data set? Well, guys, when I type data, you're going to see our data set. And if you remember from a previous video, when we read up and down, stay, age, and gender, those things are called variables. So how many variables are there? There are 3 variables. How many cases are in the data set? Well, guys, when we read up and down, left to right, these are the cases. So I can scroll all the way down to the bottom and I can see that I have 99 cases. So I have 99 individuals in this data set. Now, sometimes our data sets get extremely large, and to be quite frank with you, when I'm analyzing data, I never look at it. I attach it and I go straight to work on what I want done. If you're going to be like that too, to answer number 1, how many variables, all I have to do is just go length of what I called my data set. Now you might say, well, it's called stay. No, it's not. It's called stay when it's on my desktop. It's called data when I've imported it into R. Okay? So guys, it was stay on my desktop. I went and got it. I called it data now that it's in R. So my data set is called data. My length of data will give me the number of variables. If I want my case, I have to take the length of one of my variables. Well, guys, in this situation, I have stay, age, and gender. So I could go length of stay. It's going to give me my cases. I could do length of gender. It's going to give me my cases. I could do length of age. It's going to give me my cases. So I have 99 cases and 3 variables. So guys, when I read left to right, every bit of information, for example, on line 5 pertains to that particular patient. This particular patient was a male. They stayed in the hospital 9.2 days, and their age was 52.2 years. So apparently they've got their age in terms of years and months, and they've reported it as a decimal. All right? Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to prepare a box plot for stay. Well, guys, that's really easy. Box plot, stay, and our box plot comes up. Now, the question says, are there outliers? And these dots right here are the outliers. So I'm going to say yes. There are 2 outliers. Okay? The next question, prepare a histogram for age. Well, to do a histogram, we do HIST of age. Now, I had a student last fall. Man, I tell you what, she just did not want to follow instructions. She just didn't. I don't know what it was, but I would do histogram and I would say, okay, guys, if you want to get a histogram, type histogram. Or I'm sorry, just type HIST. And she would do this. And then she would put in age. And she'd get an error. And I'm like, no, it's just HIST. Okay. And then she would type age. And still get an error. And then she would just throw her hands up, get frustrated. And she'd say, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been good at math. I'm not good at statistics, yada, yada, yada. No, you're not good at this because you're not paying attention. Age is all lowercase. To you, age, lowercase, to you and me, and age with a capital A are the same words. To our, lowercase age and uppercase A with age is Pluto and Venus. It's 2 different planets. So guys, to get the histogram, you have to type the correct command, just HIST, no caps, no nothing, and you have to do all lowercase because that's the way the variable was entered, okay? And you can see we have a bell-shaped and symmetric distribution. And you know, I felt really sorry for this student. I mean, I did because she just would not, no matter what, I don't know, it was just crazy. Um, but hey, she tried. I gotta give her credit for that. Uh, all right, the next question is compute the descriptive statistics for both variables stay and age. So I need the mean for stay, the mean for age, the median for stay, the median for age, and so on and so forth. Well, guys, to get the mean, you got to do them separately. So I'm just going to run through for stay. So I'm going to go mean for stay. So that's 9.57. I need to do the mean for stay, age. That's 52.96. I need to do the median for stay, 9.35. I need to do the median for age, 52.8. I need to do the standard deviation for stay, and I'm just going to do SD stay and SD age. All right. So the standard deviation for stay is 1.74, and the standard deviation for age was 4.26. Need to do the IQR. I'm going to do it for both. All right, so 2.09. And age is 5.25. Now, if we notice, there is a categorical variable. So how many and what percentage of the patients is female? So I can do some of this just by, well, I can do it the following way. What I can do is I can do X tabs tilde. Now, guys, that's up to the left of the 1 key. And gender, let's scroll back up and see how gender. Gender is all lowercase too. And I can see that that gives me the count of males and females. Now, guys, this is not too bad to do because we could come up and see that all the M's are first, so I have 31 M's and the rest of them are females. But a lot of times these M's and S will be all, jumbled up, and it won't be as clear just looking at the data set. So there are 68 females. We know that we have 99 total patients. So, well, to get this in parentheses or in percentages, I could multiply by 100. And so I have 68.69% are females. So over here, I would say there are 68 females, which is 68.68% of the patients. All right. Now the next thing I ask is to do the descriptive statistics for age over gender. So what I want to do now is I'm really pretty much ignoring what are we doing? Age. So I'm pretty much ignoring the stay variable. It's irrelevant. But I want to see if there's, for these patients, these 99 patients, if there's any difference across gender for the ages of these patients. Well, it turns out it's really, really, really easy to do this. R has a command called tapply. And what you do is you put your quantitative variable first. So in this case, we put age first. Next thing we do is we put gender, and then we type the descriptive statistic, the numerical summary that we want to find for age over the categorical variable. So we can see that the mean stay for females, well, males is 52.91, and for females is 52.98. So it turns out that the females were just a little bit older than the males, but just by, on average, just a couple of months. Now to get the median, we're going to do the same thing. And let me show you kind of a clever thing you can do. If you set your cursor at the next line, if you just hit your up arrow, it will go up to the previous line. It's kind of like that entry command on your calculator. Well, guys, the only thing I want to do is I just want to find the median instead of the mean. So guys, the median for males is 53.2, and since it's a descriptive statistic measure, we'll round to two places, and it's 52.80 for females. So you can see that there's not a lot of difference. I'm going to get this where I can. There's not a lot of difference in the two measures of center for age across gender. Now, the next thing I want to do is standard deviation. So go down there, just hit your up arrow, change median to SD. And for, let's see, males, we have 3.55. And for females, we have 4.57. Same thing for IQR, hit your up. Well, I got to come over here and hit your up. Instead of SD, we want IQR. And the IQR is, for males, is 5.55. And for females, it's 5.13. So guys, round appropriately. Now, you're done. And this is exactly what you're going to do in the next assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down like that, okay? And now it's going to be time for you to get the answers to me so you can get credit, all right? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to Shawnee, go to new, write me an email, ddarbro@shawnee.edu, Math 1500, R assignment number 1. My answers are, guys, you might be served well to do a split screen. I don't know, it's up to you, or print it off. Just tell me your answers. Number 1, 3 variables. Number 2, 99 cases. Guys, think you can handle this? Number 3, yes, there are 2 outliers. Number 4, prepare a histogram for age. What was it, bell-shaped and symmetric? Number 5. Now, what you can do here, number 5 is going to take a little bit more. I'm not going to type all these things out, but you guys are smart. You can go stay. I'm okay with 9.57, 9.35, 1.74, and the IQR is 2.09. And the other one is age, 52.96, 52.80, and guys, y'all see what's going on there. All right, number 6, you can tell me 68, and that's 68%. And number 7, See number 5. So enter answers just like number 5. Okay, so you would have males the 4 numbers, females the 4 numbers. You're going to come up here and hit send, and you're going to get 100 out of 100 of the easiest points that you have probably ever got. So what you're going to do is you're going to do, let's go down here and look at this. Let's go full screen here on this. So when we come down here, you're going to see that you've got a different data set. Your data set is called IQ Read. Save it to your desktop. Save it something simple. I would just call it Read or IQ. Don't put a space in here because that can give you difficulties. I see this happen a lot. Back here, if there's a space in there, sometimes this right here can go crazy. So if I've got stay, couple of spaces, it just makes it a little bit tougher, and you don't need it. Just name it, whatever. Call it cat. Doesn't even have to be anything relevant. Just call it something that's easy to type in. And then always just get in a habit of, once you name it here, always call your data set data. Okay? Well, gang, that's it. This should be an easy 100 points. I think I say this thing is due Tuesday, September the 28th at 11:45. The reason I decided to do it this week is because your assignment online, your online assignment is also due Tuesday at 11:45. But it's especially the one out 6.1. It's actually a little bit easier than some of the assignments before, so I don't think it should take that long. And neither should this if you just can follow the instructions. So, guys, that's it. Have a good one.